Let's get a quick take on David Siegel, CEO of Denver-based Frontier Airlines, stepping down this week. Details on his departure haven't been released, but the announcement comes after a report highlighting a large number of complaints against the carrier. Patty Calhoun from Westward. Frontier's been our hometown airline. People have been trying to root for it for so long, but since it's gone to this ultra low-cost carrier, it's made far more enemies than friends. What do you think?
Well, I hope that Siegel doesn't get a golden parachute until he's flown on one of his planes. It's impossible not to be nostalgic for the iteration of Frontier maybe 3 decades ago. Some people might remember when Sam Adams ran it. His wife wrote recipes for the on-air magazine back when those things existed. And Captain Chick Stevens wrote from the cockpit. You just have to love those days when Frontier really was a hometown-friendly airline. But I have to quote one of our readers who said that he would sooner date a truck driver he met on Craigslist than fly Frontier.
That's an epic description of where people are at right now. David Kopel from the Independence Institute and DU Law School. Is there anywhere to go from here to improve for Frontier Airlines?
There's almost infinite zone of room for improvement. Apparently there was a big conflict on his final day in the office when he found out he had to pay a $25 fee to quit and $15 more to get his stuff out of his desk. But you know, it's the economics of the airline business these days.
This is open mic night here on Colorado Inside Out. That's great. Next up, Eric Sonderman, a great young comic from Littleton. Now, Eric, do you think there's a way that Frontier can pull out of this, or are we just basically counting the days until they're sold and sold off again and just be done with it?
Don't know. I think they can pull out of it. Airlines have risen and fallen, no pun intended there, in the past. To Patty's point, you don't have to go back 30 years to when Frontier was a great airline. I mean, 8 or 10 years ago, Frontier was an airline of choice for many people in Denver. It was headquartered here. The route system was obviously very convenient for Denver, but it has had this precipitous fall, a sad precipitous fall. There are a lot of bad airlines in this country with lousy customer service. When you're rated #1 as the worst airline, you know you have a problem. I've been waiting for them to change the animal on the tail, you know, and maybe put a gopher up there or a weasel or whatever.
Prairie dog.
Prairie dog, but it is bad. We have all these Frontier miles, and you can't give them away. You don't want to use them. Can't give them to a charity auction because they don't want them. It's bad.
when folks that can't afford to fly don't want your miles, you know it's a bad time. Todd Shepard, editor of CompleteColorado.com, wrap it up for us.
You know, not to be too egotistical about this, it was 10 years ago that I moved to Colorado in May of 2005. And I remember at that time, as I was just learning the whole environment, the real goodwill that Frontier had. I mean, people really did pull for them. Even when they couldn't, you know, they had to fly United or they had to fly someone else, they still really pulled for them. And it really has been sad to see this decline over the last 10 years. When you're talking about ultra low-cost carriers, not just low-cost carriers, the one thing that you really have in your power to differentiate yourself is customer service. That's the key focus they've got to get on if they're going to survive this.